My name is Tadashi Kowta, K-O-W-T-A. I was born in San Francisco. Went to Japan for a couple of years due to the illness, the frailty of my mother, and we were taken care of by my paternal and maternal grandparents. My father was then called to Wintersburg Presbyterian Church in 1937, and we came back in 1938. My father was Reverend Soye Kowta, who was a minister, and on the fateful day of December 7th, 1941, it was Sunday, and he had finished his worship service. And as he usually does, came to the manse and was listening to Reverend Emerson Fosdick, a renowned preacher. And during that time, intermittently, there were announcements that Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor.
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our west coast became a potential combat zone. Living in that zone were more than 100,000 persons of Japanese ancestry, 2/3 of them American citizens, 1/3 aliens. We knew that some among them were potentially dangerous. Most were loyal, but no one knew what would happen among this concentrated population if Japanese forces should try to invade our shores.
Leaders in the community were being picked up by the FBI and arrested and were being interrogated. And he was told to pack up because he was going to go to jail. He complied and got packed. He was interrogated for about 2 or 3 hours. It was a difficult time for him because people were suspicious of him, and I remember going to the backyard and wondering to myself what was going to happen to the family, since I was the oldest child of 3.
President Franklin Roosevelt authorized Executive Order 9066 on February 19, 1942.
On May 15th, we were told to pack whatever we were able to carry. I saw a couple of these semi-trucks empty and going away, and wondered why couldn't we have brought more of our personal belongings.
Japanese nationals and Japanese Americans were forcibly relocated. More than 110,000 people were sent to what were called war relocation camps.
And then we boarded the bus, not knowing where we were going, but we were just told to pull down the shades, and then we took off to a place unknown. I tried to peek a little bit, a couple of times, but was never really able to tell where we were going. And when we arrived in Poston, it was a desolate place, a dusty place, and when we got off the bus and stepped onto the ground, we all of us more or less stepped into a silky, dusty, soft dirt, and our foot just sunk into the dirt as we walked.
It's hard to imagine a more desolate place. Freezing in the winter, with heart-stopping heat in the summer, and sandstorms that could drop you to your knees. Manzanar was one of 10 Japanese American internment camps that were built during World War II.
We were assigned to a barrack, but then we only were given only 1/4 of the barrack to live in. And so 5 of us lived in a room about 25 by 20. And all I saw at that time was 5 cots and 5 blankets and a mattress cover, which we had to fill with straw for a mattress. Our bathroom and restroom areas were in a separate building. The bathrooms were unpartitioned, just like our rooms.
The shame and embarrassment was almost intolerable, especially for the women.
It was very open. And so for many people, it was a very difficult time. The mess hall was in a different building. We were able to eat with whomever we wanted. And sociologically, this created a problem for many families because it disrupted the family unit. Certainly, we always wanted to eat with our friends, and the parents were with adults. In terms of food, I don't recall all of it, but I know we had rice. A lot of times it was burnt. But the kids and I like burnt rice. They call it okoge. My story doesn't reflect a lot of the hardship that people went through because I was a lot younger. We didn't have to face the decisions that older people had to make about education, about whether to go into the military. And so it was a fun time for us, teenagers or younger. The pastors of the various denominations got together and elected my father as the chairperson of that group. He wanted to work with the Buddhist priests to establish the school, but they didn't want to, and so the Christians got together and started the school. And he was able to find about 60 volunteers who were willing to teach, and the children numbered about 1,000. On January the 2nd, 1945, after being in the camp for 3 years, and my father had told the people in the camp that it's now safe to return to the West Coast. People were reluctant to return to the West Coast, that I believe because of their fear of how people would react to their coming back. My mother and my 2 siblings and I came to California, to Los Angeles, on January the 6th. Although it was harsh and difficult at times, we lived through it. I'm not proud of that, the fact that we were denied civil rights and civil liberties. But again, it was a time of growth for many of us. And we proved our loyalty to the United States by sending people to the Army and to the famed 442 Regiment.